My name is David. I'm going to be your boat driver here for the next 30 minutes or so. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of history about San Antonio and the Riverwalk. If you guys have any questions about anything, please feel free to ask. There's a few rules on the boat before we go too far. They're very simple. No standing on the boat. No smoking of any kind. Try to keep your hands and elbows inside the row. If you're going to talk amongst yourselves, just try to keep it down a little bit. This is a narrated tour. We want everybody to be able to hear the tour. Also back here at the rear of the boat, underneath these hatches back here, we've got life jackets. For whatever reason you find yourself in the San Antonio River, don't worry, don't panic. Just stand up, I'll throw you one. Yeah, that makes sense. It's not very deep. Before I get into the tour, this footbridge right here that we're going underneath right now is kind of famous. Anybody see the movie Selena with Jennifer Lopez? This is the footbridge. Jennifer Lopez is on in the movie Selena. Sometimes you get people on the boat from Mexico, they want to pronounce her name Selena, but yeah, it's not Selena, it's Selena. Selena. Good memory to remember her name is Selena, rhymes with propina. Propina. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll be here all week. Thank you very much. All right, so for those of you that don't know, the San Antonio River is a natural river, right? It comes in from the north, makes a horseshoe shape into the downtown area, continues on south. It runs 125 miles into the Guadalupe River, then it finally empties into the Gulf of Mexico, a little over 250 miles from here. This part of the river that we're on right now is part of the natural flow of the river. It has a natural riverbed bottom, and the depth varies depending on where you're at. It's anywhere between 1 to 5 feet deep. It's shallow towards the sides. I think it's a little deeper in the middle, like most Texas rivers. A lot of people don't realize this, but the whole reason that San Antonio exists is because of this river, because of the water-rich area that San Antonio had back when the Spaniards first came apart there. Now, right off the bat, I want to show you guys an optical illusion. All right, as soon as we come out from underneath this bridge here, the Navarro Street Bridge, everybody look up and to my left, the very top of the Dix Hospital built in 1930. If you don't know which way left is, look back at me. I'm pointing up at it. The Dix, though, and I actually going to look like a big flat wall. You look all the way to the very top, like you're looking at the roof. Okay, look all the way to the top, like you're looking at the roof. The roof is on fire. You see it? See how it looks like a big flat wall? This is the only hospital, folks. The only hospital in the whole wide world that has a Bubba Gump shrimp restaurant in the basement. Bubba Gump. Not even in Alabama, they got a hospital with a Bubba Gump shrimp. That's all I gotta say about that. Yeah, nobody gets that joke. I don't care. I don't care anymore. This part of the river is called South Bank. That's where all the nightlife happens. All the dance clubs and nightclubs on the Riverwalk are here in this area on the Riverwalk. Any y'all still going to the club? Anybody still hanging on? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Hey, have you guys seen all these? You guys seen all these ducks out here in the river? A lot of people worry about these ducks getting run over by the boats. Folks, please don't worry about that. It's actually impossible for these boats to run those cute little ducks over. Believe me, I've tried. I'm pretty sure I know how they got their name. I'm just saying. All right, so if y'all are in this part of the river and you want to go to the Alamo, or if you're parked over there by the Alamo, if you want to go to the mall, which is beside the Alamo, a real cool little shortcut is right here at the base of the Hyatt Regency Hotel. All you have to do is go through either one of those double doors there at the base of the hotel, follow the water feature that goes all the way through, and underneath the hotel at the street level, and you'll be directly across the Alamo. If you look above each of the doors there, it even says the shops of the Paseo de Alamo, which means that there's shops along the passageway to the Alamo. Full disclosure, there's also one bar in case you get thirsty. Hey, you want me to get by you? All right, thank you, sir. Watch your hands and elbows over here on the right-hand side. Ándale, muchas gracias, señor. You got a Picasso going on over here. So this part of the river is called River Square. This is where we have most of the restaurants here in this part of the river. We are officially on the left side of that horseshoe portion of the river that comes into downtown. If you guys keep in mind the general shape of the river, it'll help you navigate as you try to get around down here. Now, if you're staying down here in downtown San Antonio, you guys want to get something to eat really late at night, the only restaurant that's open 24 hours a day down here on the Riverwalk is on the other side of this footbridge over on the right-hand side. They're open 24 hours a day. Now the food's not very good. As a matter of fact, it's awful, but at 3 o'clock in the morning, it is delicious. Best canned refried beans I've ever had in my life. I'm kidding, of course. I'm joking. All these restaurants are wonderful. My favorite restaurant is over here on the right. See these green umbrellas? This is my favorite restaurant. It's called Boudreaux. The name of this restaurant is called Boudreaux, B-O-U-D-R-O. The food here is excellent. The service is fantastic. And to be clear, folks, this is not a Mexican restaurant. They call it a Texas bistro. But even if you just wanted to do like chips and margaritas, they do this table-side guacamole. That's what the girl's going to do right now. Ciro, the white shirt, they do this table-side guacamole. And it's guacamole. So you show some north. They also have a prickly pear margarita that's very unique to this restaurant. They make it with the fruit off the cactus. Uh-oh, we got mariachi. Now, if y'all have found the determining Tex-Mex on the Riverwalk, and I recommend getting with me and going where locals go, but if you're going to eat on the Riverwalk, this is the restaurant I'd recommend. Over here on the right, the Casa Rio restaurant. It's really a good introduction to Tex-Mex. Now, if the Casa Rio restaurant happens to be the very first restaurant that ever opened on the San Antonio Riverwalk. They opened their doors here on the Riverwalk in 1946. Back then, while people waited in line for their tables, they'd get boat rides up and down the river. The boats just looked like convoys, like they had a Venice. It was the whole look they were going for back then. Thank goodness that didn't change. The clouds are rolling back in. That sun's starting to disappear. It's going to start to get chilly here before too long. All right, folks, so we're going to leave the natural flow of the river. We're going to hang a left here. We're going to go on to this man-made extension. And this is all concrete sides, concrete bottom. They built this in 1968 specifically for the World's Fair. If you guys are walking around down here in the Riverwalk and you get here to the man-made, just remember that the man-made goes down to the mall, which bears to the left, and the convention center, the Town of the Americas, which bears to the right. And the direction we're headed right now is east. We're headed east if that helps anybody get their bearings. So back in 1968, when they built this extension, the main attraction here in San Antonio wasn't the Riverwalk. It was the fairgrounds, right over by the Town of the Americas. Back then, they used to have a whole array of canals in and around the tower. They had a man-made lake back there that had power boats that pulled skiers. They had a big giant monorail that went around the whole perimeter of the fairgrounds. They even had a skylift. That World's Fair lasted for 6 months here in San Antonio, and over 7 million people came to visit our city. Again, folks, please, if you're going to talk amongst yourselves, ma'am, yeah, somebody get her attention here. If you guys are going to talk amongst yourselves, just try to keep it down a little bit. This is a narrated tour. I want everybody to hear the tour. If you haven't been down here to San Antonio for Christmas before, as you can plainly see, the city of San Antonio puts Christmas lights up on all the trees every year. They put them up every year, they take them down every year. They're not like that one neighbor down the street. You know who you are. We put the lights on the day after Thanksgiving. We actually have a river parade that celebrates the lighting of the river. It's beautiful. If you get a chance to come down to San Antonio, I highly recommend it. It is by far the biggest parade of the year on the Riverwalk. It's the day after Thanksgiving. We call it the lighting of the Riverwalk parade. Some people call it Black Friday. Some people think I'm funny. Just nobody on this boat. Wah, wah. Wake up, America. Wake up. If you look up and to the right, you'll see the centerpiece for the 1968 World's Fair, the Tower of the Americas. It's 750 feet tall. It has a revolving restaurant on the inside, and that restaurant up there makes a complete revolution on the inside about once every 45 minutes. So if you're having dinner or if you're having lunch, it'll give you a chance to see the whole city. Now, you don't have to go to the restaurant and want to go up to the tower. There's an observation deck as well. The elevators for the tower are on the outside of the building. The outside of the elevators are made of glass, so it's a lot of fun to go up to the very top. You can watch the ground fall away as you go to the top. You get a great view of the city. The best part about it is those elevators. The elevators hardly ever get stuck anymore. The big giant statue directly in front of us is brand new. It's called Stargazer. They just unveiled this like 8 months ago. It's from Mexico. It's made out of volcanic rock. The little white star is made out of marble. The name of the artist is Pedro Reyes. Pedro Reyes. They had it all covered up like 8 or 9 months, and then they did this big unveiling like 8 months ago. I don't know too much about art aficionado of any kind, but I don't know. If you ask me, I kind of like it better when it's covered up. Anyway, this extension we're going into right now is the very last extension that was built here on the Riverwalk. This extension, the Marriott River Center Hotel, which is the big one over here on the right, and the mall were all built at the same time. They started in 1985. They finished all this up in 1988. Everybody looks back to see if I can hit my head, but they don't say anything. Hey, Dave, my time for you. No, they just watch. All right, folks, we're here at the end of the tour. I appreciate having you guys. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Still not funny, huh? Y'all are being awesome, but sometimes, like especially at night, people are drinking. They could care less about anything I have to say. I'll sell that joke. I'll put the back end of the boat on that dock. That's hilarious for me. So this is our mall. This is the River Center Mall right here. Third largest mall in Texas.
River Center.
If you haven't been here to the River Center Mall before, we got a food court on the first floor. We got an IMAX on the second floor and a bunch of shopping everywhere in between. It's probably pretty much like y'all's mall, wherever you're from. It's got good run stores. I try not to oversell it. Pretty sure malls are going the way of the dodo bird anyway. I thought I saw something online about them, or I don't know, maybe it's one of the talks that they're trying to bring back the dodo bird. Like, I don't know, DNA or whatever they're trying to reach. Yeah. Anybody have any questions about the mall? It's probably for the best. I'll be honest with you guys. I shop at Amazon. I haven't been here in a long time. What, say again? Well, are they dead? Or yeah, probably. Now the trees that don't have the leaves on them, some of most of them are called bald cypress trees, and they do that every year. But like some of these right here, I don't know about these trees very much really. We used to have an orange tree right here on the right. You can still see the stump. You see that little stump right there? That was an orange tree. It put out oranges every year. That big freeze that we had a couple years ago killed everything down. Matter of fact, everything back here. You can see how sparse it is. Before that big freeze, this was really lush and gorgeous back here. I mean, it was really lush. All of this stuff just died out, and this has all been stuff that's been replanted. And even this winter, they've had to cut it back again, obviously. But it was like a bomb went off back here after that big freeze 2 years ago. Matter of fact, right here on the other side of this, see right here, these look like dead trees or whatever. This was one lemon tree. This was a Myers lemon tree. You can see the stuff there behind the offshoots there. And it was huge. It put out lemons twice a year. Big old giant Myers lemons. It was really cool. It died too. That freeze killed a lot of stuff. Some of the palm trees, like the real tall thin ones, they died. They had to cut them down. There was quite a few actually. All the lemon trees on the river died. The one avocado tree that we had, it survived. But yeah, a lot of stuff died back here. Right as soon as we come out from this footbridge here, if you look over here on the right, on the side of the river, you'll see an 8.5-foot bronze statue. It's a statue of St. Anthony, San Antonio de Padua. This is who San Antonio, the San Antonio River, named after. That statue was a gift to San Antonio from Portugal in 1968 for the World's Fair. As it turns out, St. Anthony's from Portugal. He's from Lisbon, Portugal. So the whole reason San Antonio is named after St. Anthony is because of the very first mass that was ever held here in San Antonio. It was held on June 13, 1691. It was held by a Spanish missionary named Father Damien Massenet. He wrote in his diary that because it was St. Anthony's feast day on the day of the Mass, he decided to name the river after it. That's how San Antonio got its name. 2018, San Antonio's tricentennial. San Antonio turned 300 years old in 2018. We're one of the oldest cities in the United States. We're the 7th largest city in the country, top 20 oldest. Anybody on the boat know what the oldest city in the United States is? St. Augustine, Florida, that's right. How about the oldest city in Texas? It's a hard question. I'll give you a hint. It's not San Antonio, which is the 3rd oldest city, and it's not Nacogdoches, which is a very common wrong answer. Now, anybody want to venture a guess? It's a hard question. Hardly anybody's ever gotten it. It's like 2-3 people. Huh? Not Del Rio. It is on the border. Oldest city in Texas. San Antonio's the 3rd oldest. El Paso's the 2nd oldest. It's a hard question. Presidio, right on the border, is the oldest city in Texas. Then El Paso, then San Antonio. 1718. El Paso is like almost 90 years old in San Antonio. Although if you've ever been to El Paso, it's more like El Paso, New Mexico than it is El Paso, Texas. Anyway, over here on the right is our San Antonio Chamber of Commerce. If you were to move here to San Antonio, these are the folks you probably want to come talk to. If any of you folks from up north are thinking about moving down here to San Antonio, I highly recommend that you come back to San Antonio the months of July and August before you make any rash decisions, because it's a whole other kind of hot. Yeah, I spent 2 years in Iraq. I would much rather be there than here in the summertime. Without exaggeration, a dry heat, in my opinion, is a lot easier to deal with than this hot, humid heat that we have here in San Antonio. It is oppressive. All I know is here this last summer, we had 52 or 54 days of 100-degree weather this last year here in San Antonio this last year. And like the whole month of August, it never got below 90 degrees. And the humidity is off the charts. It's crazy. I mean, the only place that's hotter and more humid that I've been to is Dubai, Abu Dhabi. So we're going to leave the man-made, we're going to go back onto the natural flow, we're going to see what's on the other side of the horseshoe. Where we're at right now is kind of like the middle of the horseshoe, if you're trying to keep track of where you're at on the river. The hotel over here on the left's got a really interesting story. Anybody want to hear about that home? No? Y'all come back next week. I'll tell you all about it. So the Hilton was built in 1968, specifically for the World's Fair. It was built in a Guinness World Book of Record 202 working days. That's less than 9 months. So it took them less than 9 months from start to finish to build this hotel. The way they did that, if you look up at those rooms, you see how they're all square? They look like boxes. Well, they're prefabricated modular rooms, and they were built off-site, south of San Antonio. What they did was they built the first 4 floors here on-site. They brought the rooms in on these big giant flatbed trucks, and they craned each room into place. 202 working days. Everything in San Antonio is behind schedule and over budget for that World's Fair, but this hotel was no exception. They actually had to have these rooms ready to go when they put them into place. So everything was inside the room. The beds, the nightstands, the dressers, the drapes, towels on the towel rack, soaps, the soap. They were completely ready to go. Sounds like a fantastical story, and it is pretty amazing. But if you're walking by the hotel, go into the lobby. They got a big giant wall that has pictures that illustrate how they put the hotel together and what was inside the rooms when they put it in. It's pretty cool. This outdoor open-air theater that we're getting ready to go to now is called the Harness River Theater. It was built in 1946. This is the original design. Nothing changed since they built this. I mean, nothing much. This is pretty much the original design. The grass-padded seats are over here on the left. The stage, separated by the river, is over here on the right. We have concerts in here. We have plays. People get married. Quinceañeras. We had a rally here the other day. They even filmed a movie here. Anybody see the movie Miss Congeniality with Sandra Bullock? The swimsuit competition scene in that movie was filmed right there on that stage. Remember they asked that little blonde-haired girl what her favorite date was? April something or another, not too hot, not too cold, something like that. That's where it happened, right there. Back over here on the right, back behind these 2 man-made waterfalls, is the Briscoe Western Arts Museum. The Briscoe opened in 2013, and the building that it resides in used to be the old San Antonio Library. The museum actually commissioned that piece of art you see there on the right. Features a longhorn cow destroyed wild and free here in Texas, left over by the Spaniards in the 1700s. And the very first cowboy, the vaqueros. The vaqueros. Folks, this is where cowboy got started, right here in San Antonio, South Texas. First cattle drive, right out of San Antonio. It went east to Louisiana to defeat the Spanish armies during the American Revolution. Ahead of us is the Presa Street Bridge. It's an iron ornamental bridge built in the late 1800s. Presa in Spanish means dam. At one time we had a dam right here at this location. There was a dam here. There was a mill over on the other side. Historically, this was the widest, most shallow part of the San Antonio River. It was known as Old Mills Crossing for many years. Over here on the right, see where all the ducks are at. See the little iron sculpture? It sits on a little island called Marriage Island. A lot of couples get married here. It's supposed to be good luck. If you look carefully, you can see a bunch of flowers on the island. Obviously, there's a couple of weddings here fairly recently. The city estimates over 300 couples here. Marriage Island.
So I added it in both at 4 days later. There was another couple right here on the corner. I saw those.
The pretty hotel over here on the right is the Weston Hotel. The Weston just finished construction on the rooms facing the river. They just added all those balconies up there that overlook the river. The Weston Hotel actually has no historical significance whatsoever, none. But it sure is pretty. The big tall building over here on the left with the green top is the Tower Life building. Now the Tower Life building was built in 1929. It was built in a neo-Gothic type of architecture. If you look way up at the very top of the building, see those things sticking out? Those are gargoyles, way up at the very top. Can you see this one? Gargoyles. Now they're not the kind of gargoyles that are in that movie Ghostbusters. These are more like the ones that are on that church that burned in Paris, Notre Dame Cathedral. If you look carefully, right above the, right on top of the first floor, right above those big windows, right above the tree line, you'll see a bunch of ugly faces all lined up in a row. Those ugly faces are called grotesques. Grotesques, they're put there to ward off bad luck and evil spirits.
Look at those faces. You see those faces, Ryan? See that?
Grotesques.
They ain't attractive.
5 months later, stock market fell.
Fell, crash, all the same thing. There's that Jimmy back there. The St. Mary Street Bridge is kind of informally known by a lot of folks as the pigeon drop zone. It's probably best you don't look up underneath this bridge, and if you do, don't look your mouth. I don't know why I always slow down when I go into this bridge. The pigeons underneath there right now. They don't go to roost until much later on. They have been hanging out around here. There's see that nest right there? There's another nest around the corner. Apparently these hawks have been taken up home here, and ever since these hawks have been parked here now, made their home over here, the pigeons have been gone. Usually there's a bunch of them used to hang out over here. This is floodgate 4. We're getting ready to go out floodgate 4. We're going to hang a right, but before we do, if you notice, floodgate 4 comes up right out of the water and closes up. You can tell by the silver markings on the inside of the river. They close this up when they want to clean the downtown area when it used to flood. Remember I told you the river comes in from the north, makes a horseshoe shape into the downtown area, then goes south. This is where it goes south, back here to the left. We're going to hang a right, and we're going to go on this man-made bypass, this flood channel. This was built in 1926, and it's about 12 feet deep here in the flood channel. In 1921, we had a real bad flood here in San Antonio. The floodwaters got about 8 or 9 feet above street level. There was a tremendous loss of property and life, so they built this flood channel, these floodgates. The flood control measures that the city of San Antonio has in place now are built to withstand a 500-year flood, so it never floods in downtown anymore. It hasn't for decades. The genius behind the San Antonio Riverwalk is that the Riverwalk in and of itself is a flood control measure. See, storm drains on the wall here to my left. There's storm drains just like this, situated all along the Riverwalk, everywhere. So whenever it rains anywhere in the downtown area, all that water gets redirected down here onto the river by the time. When they started in 1921 was the big flood, and I believe they started in 19. It took them a while. 1925, I think, was when they started. 1924, 1925 is when they started. It took them about 4 or 5 years to get all this stuff. We're talking about the flood channel specifically, right? Yeah, it took about 4 or 5 years to get it all done, excavated and put in. You can tell right here. where the old dam used to be, right here. You can see the old markings of it right there. And there used to be a wall across here. Like, see, this is the opening here that's here. It goes back to Main Plaza. This was never here. This was just, you can see where they cut away the wall right there. Main Plaza is the geographic center of San Antonio, by the way. City Hall is back there, the courthouse, and the Cincinnati Cathedral, which is one of the oldest continuously running Catholic churches in the United States. Beautiful church. It's actually under renovation / repairs right now. The tallest, oldest tree on the river is directly in front of us. This 90-foot tall bald cypress tree is estimated to be well over 300 years old. This one, yeah, right here. We're going to go back onto the natural flow of the river. This is where the left side of the horseshoe portion of the river comes into the downtown area. And we're going to go through floodgate 3. Now unlike floodgate 4, they came up out of the water and closed up. Floodgate 3, as you can tell by looking at it, falls from the top down, kind of like, I don't know, kind of like one of those big giant guillotines, right? Yeah. They usually test it every afternoon, usually between 2:15 and 2:30 is usually when they test floodgate number 3. You know, folks, coincidentally, I've actually found that this is an excellent time to talk to you guys about the existential meaning of life. Perhaps we can talk about tips and gratuities. The building under construction over here on the right, it's not going to be a hotel. It's actually going to be an apartment complex. And we haven't had new residential in the downtown in years, so it should be pretty cool. I don't know too much about these apartments yet. All I do know is that these apartments will not be reasonably priced. Yeah, exactly. There was not many boat drivers living in those apartments. That I can tell you. Like, because they've never had a high-rise apartment complex. I mean, who could afford to live? I still don't know who's going to afford to live in that. But we're getting a lot of transplants for some of these big cities. I guess it probably compared to like New York or Chicago or the big cities, would be nice. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah. I need to think of that. Yep. This is the oldest bar on the river, the Esquire. Literally opened the day after Prohibition ended in the United States, December 5th, 1933. The day before that, they called it the Esquire Barbershop. People would go for like 2 or 3 hour haircuts. My grandfather's favorite watering hole. He loved this bar for years and years and years. He used to come here. Back in the day, though, there was no openings back then. This was a fire escape, and it was like a saloon type atmosphere. It was a rough bar. Matter of fact, they used to have the longest standing bar in Texas for years. They used to pack you down before you went into the Esquire back in the day. Nowadays, if you'd like a finely crafted cocktail, that's the place to go to. The bar's still there. They just have stools up to the bar now. Guys, we're here at the end of the tour. I appreciate having you guys. Hope you enjoyed a little trip around the river. Just a few things before we dock, if you could please. Wait till they get the boat complete.